Hey guys, welcome back. And if you're new to the channel, this is the SoWatchPodcast. I'm your girl Key.
I'm your girl Treasure.
And guys, we got episode 6 of I Watch, You Watch. And hold on one second, Treasure. Before I continue with this intro here, if y'all haven't already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button down below because you guys do not want to miss any more episodes because filming for you guys later this week, we got the recap of Love is Blind Season 8. You guys are not going to want to miss this, so please hit that like button, guys. All right, and for our special series that you're only going to get here on the So Watch Podcast, we have our favorite series called I Watch, You Watch. So for those of you that are new to the channel, I'm going to make Trez watch a couple of movies that I liked or that I just wanted to get her opinion on, and I'm going to pick, and then she's going to pick the one to view. I kind of want to see what your thoughts are, and we'll kind of go back and forth and kind of give our reviews on it, what we liked, what we didn't like, and then, you guys can also comment as well. If you guys have any movies that you guys want us to watch, please comment down below. We'd love it. We'd love to see it. So we got episode 6, Trez, of I Watch, You Watch, and I made you watch. Tell the people what movie I made you watch.
You people.
She said that so small. I hope that's not indicative of what she actually thought about the movie.
It is.
Oh, no. Okay, so we had I Watch, You Watch, and I made you watch You People. So do you want to kind of give the people a little bit of a description of kind of like where we kind of head off?
All right. So You People is basically I would say, a modern love story of cultures clashing.
Yeah.
And figuring out how to navigate different cultures and handle them appropriately together.
Absolutely.
And so for this, we have Jonah Hill starring and Lauren London. So Jonah Hill actually, did you know, produced this?
Yes, I saw that he produced
this.
Yes,
yeah, helped produce this movie,
yep.
Which to me was actually very like, okay, Jonah, I kind of see you, because I would never have what I've known about Jonah Hill in the industry,
exactly.
Especially when he first like kind of became big in the industry like many years ago. I did not see this coming at all because he did not have a good reputation in the industry, at all. And so I was like, okay, the fact that he wanted to produce something that was telling on how other cultures, if they're gonna do like a surreal relationship, any kind of mixed culture relationship, and how to handle it appropriately and kind of like give grace, be intentional about how you want to portray if you accept something or not.
Absolutely.
Was definitely something that came out here and kind of was like a good voice in trying to tell that story. Yeah. However, the execution, do I think that it needed some work? Absolutely.
Yeah, okay. And I guess we'll get into that a little bit more, but we got, so outside of Jonah Hill and, Lauren London, for those of you that don't know Lauren London, if y'all watch ATL, that's like one of my favorite movies from like way back. Throwback.
They're not gonna know ATL.
Well, maybe
let us know down in the comments if you guys know what movie ATL is, because it wasn't even like a blockbuster. It was like
it wasn't, but it's like
I don't think
it was a movie that definitely, if you're a person that you watched BET like every day, like we kind of
like BET,
that movie was on it. But
for those of you that don't know Lauren London, what else was she in?
She was in. To be honest, I haven't seen her being in.
She was in This Christmas.
Movies. Yeah, but even that
with Chris Brown.
Yeah.
Chris Brown was in that movie.
There's actually a lot of people in that. Idris Elba was in that.
Yeah, Regina King was in that movie.
Like who else is Columbus Short was in that one. Yeah, there's a lot of
people. We know he's canceled in that, but Columbus, before he was canceled, Columbus was in that.
Yeah. So Eddie Murphy was in this as well. We had Neil Long in it as well.
Yes.
For some reason, her name escapes me. The one that played Jonah Hill's mom in it. She's really funny. I can't remember her name.
I don't remember her name either. But
you would have seen her for sure.
This lady, she was actually kind of always plays like a comedic role.
Yeah. So that was it. But yeah, again, my whole thought is on this whole movie, right? And I'm gonna get like right into it. Because again, if you guys have watched the channel, like I'm a big person now where I feel like a lot of these movies now, they're putting characters together that I'm like, okay, I don't see the chemistry. Like this is 100%, like this would never ever work. And I've been so sick and tired of seeing that. But I'm not gonna lie, I actually found it refreshing to see like Lauren London and Jonah Hill's actual connection in this actual love story. It was believable. It was actually believable to me. The reason why I'm saying it's not believable is because it's like, from what we think of Lauren London, like, okay, is she gonna go, like, would she have ever dated Jonah Hill in real life? Like, the answer is most likely we're gonna think no. But in terms of their actual chemistry as of being a couple, I actually like their quirkiness in the relationship. I guess you think something completely different. I was one of my favorite things that what I liked about the movie was them being together. Okay, go ahead, Chaz.
No.
No?
I
Okay.
honestly didn't really like see. I didn't see like a love connection at all, and like it's strange because I've said in other videos, like I kind of know a little bit of background in like the film industry, and I know sometimes whenever movies come out, they have where they automatically think of like a character, like a actor or actress who can play this role, right? And then whoever they decide who they have, like whether it's the male lead interest or the female lead interest, then they'll pick the love interest based off of like the chemistry with that character when they do like table reads and such like that, right?
Okay.
But I don't know how this passed because I don't see how they have like on-screen chemistry. And like to me, like on-screen chemistry is whenever you could be like, okay, they definitely banged in real life. You know what I mean? Like that's whenever they have really good on-screen chemistry. And you're like, how are they not together in real life? Like, what do you mean you're married to other people? That to me is whenever you know that they have really, really good on-screen chemistry. I don't have that with them at all.
Okay.
Or like.
So we're not shipping Ezra and
no, not one bit. Okay, so besides that, I think we should get right on into, I guess, once they like first get together.
Absolutely.
Okay. So I think that, you know, because of who Amira's father is, he definitely like hammered home like, you know, black love, like black excellence, black girl magic, every other black person, every other, you know, African American saying there is home to her. And so she, you know, obviously was, like grew up very like pro black, and there's nothing wrong with that, you know what I mean? But to me, this movie just embarked on it being like, because I'm pro whatever, you cannot accept other cultures to me, and like it's not okay to do that. And that to me is like one of the biggest problems. Like I don't think that you being pro something means that you can't accept something else.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean? Like, and I think that's what this movie kind of highlighted to me was that like the father was like, what are you doing with this? You know, I made sure you knew about, you know, like
and
black power, black, and I raised you this way. So how can you do that? But it's like, okay, so that means you raised her in one certain way to look at things, and it wasn't that, equality. It wasn't, you know what I mean? And I don't think that it was the fact that, you know, he was white, because he was, isn't he Jewish?
Yes,
they were Jewish. Yeah. So he, you know what I mean? It's not even not like he's Jewish. So it's not even that. To me, it was like she could have brought home anything else that was not black, and the father would have had a problem with it. And that is my problem with you know, part of the movie. But I also think that like when they first get together, Ezra, he talks about like more like black urban culture, things, like, and like black culture. It is it was the stepping stone for her to kind of like open her eyes a little bit. And I don't think that the portrayal that, you know, Jonah Hill put on was wrong. I don't think that it was, what can I say? I don't think that it was like insulting.
No, it wasn't
at all. I was like, okay, like 100%.
Right, because, like on what matters.
I 100% think that like, you know, him talking in a certain way and like slang and everything like that. I think a lot of times, you know, people try to say like, oh well, why are you talking black, or like whatever else, and I'm like, slang is just from wherever you're from. No, you know what I mean? It's like literally where you're from. Like there's different slangs in different parts of towns and everything like that. Like I mean, I'm old now, so I don't know any slang from my town, but I mean, like I don't think so. You know, the music that he likes, whatever. If you genuinely like that, you're obviously gonna talk like the rapper you're listening to or whatever else. I don't think that it could be like, oh, you're talking a certain way. No, I'm talking with what I'm listening. I'm hearing. You know, I'm listening. You know. Absolutely. It doesn't mean I genuinely like, and that's the thing too, where I feel like Amira's dad, where it was like, you're trying so hard, but she's like, you don't know him, because he's not trying hard because of you sitting there in front of him. That's who he is.
That's actually who he is. That's exactly what I was going to say as well. And like, the thing is, what I liked about it is that he had his own style, his own way of actually doing and his own way of speaking, which it wasn't, because like there's people that you'll be around that, you know, are not African American, and you know that they're coming off like, why are you saying that word, like you don't know what that means type of stuff. Like there was none of that at all, which is what makes it good and made it refreshing to see and nice to see in a way, because again, Jonah Hill's directing a movie right now where I feel like a lot of this controversy with these culture clashes, it was the right time to make this movie, because I feel like nowadays there's not going to be anything where it's just pure like couples being from the exact same ethnicity. I think there's going to be a lot of mixing, and I think that, you know, obviously him being, you know, white and her being African American, like that was probably one of the first mixes that I've seen where people were going off into the others, and now you get all, you know, half black, half Asian, half whatever it is, right? So I feel like it was like the perfect context into it. And again, I'm not gonna lie, I actually liked his style and like some of the clothes he was dressing. There's some of the nice funny little context that, like, again, if you're in pop culture, you know, like how he's sitting at, I think it was like one of their church sermons or whatever at the very beginning of the movie, and him and his sister are bickering. She's like, you look like a dad who lost his kid at Coachella. Like I was like dying when I first watched the movie. Like, mind you guys, I watched this movie like 3 times. Jonah Hill, like this seemed to me, I would be really shocked if he actually wasn't like this in real life. Like, I feel like this is actually like...
Yeah, I don't think it... Like, I agree. It wasn't like a character that he like had to like play. Yeah. Do his research on and like learn about. I think that like he kind of maybe has like a likeness to Ezra. Yeah. For sure.
100%, which is, again, I guess why he produced it and stuff like that. And I mean, like, it's... So, like, in the way how they actually meet, so, like, Amira, which is Lauren London, and then Jonah Hill, his name's Ezra, how they actually meet is, like, he's going home from work because he works in, like, the corporate world, and he's looking for his Uber, and he goes into Amira's car, and she's, like, kind of trying to get herself together, and she's like, get the heck out of my car, what are you doing here, you psycho, you're serial killer? He's like, no, I thought you were my Uber, and he's like, what? He's like,
oh, wow, all black people look the same to you, and then he's like, what? No, like, literally look, and then she's like, oh. Okay, yeah, she does look like me.
Yeah, and then the next part where I laugh is like, oh yeah, this is definitely a 23andMe situation. Like, I'm not gonna lie, guys, some of the jokes in this didn't seem like they were trying to, like, it literally just comes on to, like, what is happening now in the culture. Now, I'm gonna ask you a question about this, right? So, you're saying that you don't agree with their chemistry on what we saw on set, right? In terms of, like, for example, like, Eddie Murphy being the actual father of Amira in this whole case. Do you think that he actually portrayed being her father as a good character and Eddie Murphy was good at playing that role? Because I didn't think so. I felt that they could have got a different actor to play this whole, like, oh no, pro-black type of cult type of character to me, to be honest. So what do you think about that?
Really? I don't know. I think I don't like his character at all, so I can't really say. So I can't really. Who else would have fit better? I honestly can't really say. But since we're talking about his character, let's actually get into his character. Yeah. So, you know, he is very much, like we, you know, discussed, like very much pro-black and everything that means. And definitely, you know, did not teach about like equality and just like the whole thing where like, you know, African Americans are struggling, nothing's fair for us for a cause. Yeah. And I think that is very much like not up to date with like what is happening today. I mean, yes, of course, like in some, especially in like some different places, like in the US, because this took place there, I mean, like where they still have to have those fights and everything like that. But I mean, like where we are, like I don't necessarily feel completely like that.
No, I don't.
I think that, you know, things are like kind of innocent. I mean, had we done this before Trump was president? I don't know. It's like, I think that it was definitely like things are like becoming more even. Right. And I mean, I could be wrong. This is just what I feel. This is just like where I'm from right now. Yeah. What I'm seeing that, you know, things are kind of like evening out. And I don't mean like super big, but like slowly but surely I'm seeing it. You not being about, you know, equality for all, because, you know, yes, obviously African Americans have like have had their struggles, have had to deal with certain things. There's a lot of other races that had to go through things as well. Absolutely. And so I think like you only hammering home the importance of your own is wrong. Yeah. And like, you know, obviously, you know, Jewish people kind of have like they had a stigma about them too. That's not really necessarily the best. Yeah. And so, you know, in a way, like, yeah, he doesn't completely understand like maybe like the slavery aspect of it, but he understands like, you know, being treated differently because of what they believe in, you know? Yeah. And you could have come at the situation like, okay, this is not what I expected you to bring home.
Yeah.
Let me dig into why, after I've taught my daughter these things, why, you know, he basically passed the gate and why she gave him a chance and whatever else, you know what I'm saying? And he never looked at it like that. And it was like, even until like whenever they were like getting engaged, I don't like that he was still like, no. And he was so far like left to me that it was insane that like she never stepped in. One, breaking up and like her being the one to do it, like I literally think that like Ezra had more of a cause because of the dad 100%. Versus like Amira being the one to do it because of the mom, who the mom is like trying to be accepting and like she was the only comedic relief, by the way, in this whole thing,
right?
But yeah, the mom was, you know, very, very trying way too hard. Yeah. But to me, the fact that she was trying versus having a parent that's not trying is so vastly different.
Yeah.
And trying at the end of the day is showing support.
Absolutely. No, 100%. No, that's what I was going to say too. And I'm so glad that you said that because I 100% agree too. So like when they actually broke up, I was like, whoa, it should have been Ezra breaking up with you, not the other way around. Because I'm just like, your dad being so out of left field and basically trying to do everything he can to sabotage this whole thing for you and to kind of just put pressure on you the whole time to get you to be like, nope, I don't want to join this crazy family because he's great, and going out of like, my guy literally flat out brought this man to the barbershop and knowing that the man's wearing a red hoodie into like legit like a Crip neighborhood and was like, what? The guy could, like, obviously it's in a movie, but I'm like, yo, in that time, especially because this was in, like, actual California.
The basketball court was actually crazy as well. Yeah. I just think that...
Too much.
I think this movie showed, too, reverse racism.
Right. Absolutely.
And, like, I mean, and what by reverse racism, I'm not saying that racism has to just be, like, you know, black versus white versus black. I'm saying that, like, typically whenever people are talking about racism, it's never, like, or typically, like I said, it's not really, like, a white person's complaining that a black person's being racist to them. It's usually the other way around.
Absolutely.
And so this was definitely highlighting that, like, black people can be racist to white people as well. And it is true. Like, there's no color identified with racism. Like, it's not, you know what I mean? It's not a home term for a certain culture, ethnicity. Yeah. And I think that even in this movie, they never, like, at the end, when they break up, the father, you know, has a conversation, I think, with his brother-in-law or his brother or something. And his brother's like, what are you doing? Like, you know you messed up, right? You need to fix it. Like, and you know, you need to give this guy a chance because, you know, he could have been good. And then he's like, oh my God, like, that to me is not authentic at all. Like, no. I don't understand how this entire time, like, your daughter's over here heartbroken, like, she was planning on marrying this man. The entire time you're like, no, up until their engagement party. And then whenever you hear him on the radio one last time, and you have, like, your brother saying something, like, I just don't understand how that did it for him, like, at all. It's not real. And then you go and, like, call the mom and it's like, we need to fix this kind of thing. And I'm like, the mom didn't do anything wrong.
No, she really
I don't think she did anything wrong. I think that, like,
just not self-awareness of actually how the culture is and
they're just people at the end of the day. Seeing it that way, she kind of made it be like where I can kind of see where I was like, I feel like I'm like your black Barbie doll and I'm not. I'm a person. I could see why she felt that way, but at the end of the day, like, I'd rather have someone idolize me than someone hate me. 100.
No, like, literally this could have gone so left that both families could have been like, nope, I don't want you with this person, you're supposed to be this, and then we'd have a completely different movie. But the mom to me was, like, absolutely hilarious.
Yeah,
there are so many parts of this movie, mind you guys, I watched this movie like 3 times. I still laugh at some of the parts that I'm like, I know what's coming up. Like, the part where he goes to meet, whenever Ezra brings Amir to meet the family, like, completely hilarious. Especially the part where the mom's like, let me put this in the group, and he's like, oh no, I died. I was in tears, I was crying. Like, it was hilarious. Like, that was actually funny. But it actually goes to show, like, right on, that's what someone in the situation would actually do. Like, automatically bring up something that they know is something that's kind of injustice or something that's been struggling in the black community, to bring it up to, like, okay, I'm with you, like I fight with you,
yeah,
I
yeah.
stand by.
It's
like,
trying,
that
you
was
know,
100%
you're trying
what
to
any
create
person
a
would have done,
connection, and like
100%.
that's one of like the easiest
Mm-hmm.
ways. It's kind of like a
yeah.
scapegoat way, is doing it in like what has happened in like the news or like politics or something like that. That was like a phenomenon, right?
Yeah.
And again, like I don't think that the mom was wrong in the way. I think that it was fine for Amira, you know, to be a little bit insulted or whatever else, and especially like that's her dad raised her to be. So Absolutely. It's like, you know, she's showing that. But I think that like what was not at all seen by her was the fact that she was trying to be accepting and her dad wasn't, and that's what bothered me, is like she never acknowledged any of that, even at the end. Like she still didn't even actually acknowledge the fact that like, okay, you know what, I didn't realize what Ezra was going through for my dad and how my dad was making Ezra feel, for like not she even trying to accept it at all. She never like ever was empathetic and put herself in Ezra's shoes and like how her dad was treating Ezra at all. Like she didn't care about that at all.
Didn't defend
not
him
once.
at all
And then it was
situation.
like at the end, like, you know, the mom's apologizing again to Amira, and she's like, okay, yes, that's fine. And I was like, like, when are you gonna apologize for any of it? Like to Ezra because of your father, any of that. Like she doesn't do any of that, and like to me it was just giving like princess, and I just didn't like it. It was like Paula Patton all over again, and
Jumping the Room.
Yes. Oh my god, I can't stand characters that like never ever
apologize
ever had self-reflection at all.
And again, to say that also too is like, even like when you watch the part of the movie whenever the mom and Amira are going to I think it was the spa, and she thought the whole thing like, oh, how they were not treating her well because she was with a black person, and then she stood up and was like, excuse me, like I come here all the time, and like even though she was wrong and kind of just being overly sensitive and trying to overthink a situation that wasn't that, but even the fact that she would be willing to step up for you in a situation like that is like, oh my gosh, like this woman actually is so excited for you to be joining them.
Exactly.
Not because of what you're thinking that, oh, it's like a new toy. No, like this.
You're with my son who is my world. So like, you're going to become my world too. And I want to show you that, you know, like you're loved here, you're cared for here.
Exactly.
I want you here.
Absolutely.
And
like, it was beautiful.
That one for me was like 100% like what I got from that character.
Yeah.
And Amira just not accepting it, but I also think that it could have been like Amira's not accepting it because her parents weren't accepting it.
That's what I was
So she's like, how can I accept that someone is doing the opposite of what my parents are doing whenever I understand what my parents are doing?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And that, again, is a problem because her father clearly never taught her about equality.
No, not at all. Not at all. And it's like, even like, so it's like, even like if we talk about just, you know, so even just like, and again, I think it's just also to the mom just not being aware that this is a whole new world that I've completely been missing. I just was oblivious to, right?
Yeah.
And just not knowing that. And like, again, even Ezra knows, like, yeah, you know, he even said in the movie, like, oh, my mom's an idiot, but she means well.
Exactly.
Like,
totally my mom could be stupid and not handling it right, but she means well. Her heart's in the right place. And at the end of the day, like, for anything, whatever, you can only ever really be upset until you realize their heart was in the right place.
In this world and in this time, you have to be so careful with how you say things and what words you're using because people pick apart every single thing. It's like almost like walking on eggshells. So it's like, how do I show that I support without doing this and this and this and that? It's like, if I didn't, like, it's like almost like damned if I do, damned if I don't type of situation. So it's like, I can only imagine the mom and their family in this side, okay, this is a whole new world. How do I, whatever, this and that, right? But obviously, like, again, like when they're even at that bachelor party for Amira's bachelor party and like, you know, the question, they're just like literally just not knowing, and like how her friends were so like, what is she, like that stank face? And it's like, she doesn't know any better. And like, that's another thing I didn't really, again, was super on par with. I'm pretty sure that this would happen in real life. If this was happening today, this type of reaction would have happened exactly, which is what I kind of liked about the movie. In terms of like that scene, right? Like, no, I'm not your black baby and all that. And the mom was about to cry. I felt so bad in that because I actually felt like her face was just like heartbroken. Like,
yeah, like 100%.
So I think she went way too hard.
She's being like,
way too
hard.
She
literally is just standing there taking it all, and then, you know, Amira walks away, and it was like, I don't understand. And it's like yelling at a baby. Cool. Yeah, you know, like she's trying to make you happy because she wants you generally to be happy because you're about to enter her family. You know, she's seeing you like her kid, and she's doing it wrong. But at the end of the day, like, to me, it just felt like you're mad at her and you're giving her way too much of like a lashing for someone that is trying to love you in their way and has not yet learned how you want to be loved. But she's still, she's trying, and so I definitely think it was a little bit too much.
Oh, it hurt my heart.
Yeah, it was a lot, and I was just like, this is awful. Like, I think at that moment it was when I was like, I don't like this movie.
I know.
It was tough. I don't care for this movie. I think it was a movie that needed to be made, but I think that, and I think
made us look bad, and especially in that kind of moment, because I think that's how someone normally, again, from our being African, would have actually responded to somebody when they're trying to get their point across. Came off exactly like that. That's why I was like, oh my gosh, like this movie had so many things that were like, this happens every day.
Yeah.
And giving light to that situation. And like, her comment about, don't even now play the victim. Like, girl.
Yeah. What are we rating this movie?
So, I mean, I'm going to give it a 5. I have to give it 5 because if
this is out of 10?
Yeah, out of 10. Like if y'all know my rating system, 5 or more means I'd watch the movie again. And as I told y'all, if y'all were listening, I said I watched the movie 3 times. So now I would watch it again.
But that means it's still not that good. 5 out of 10? That's 50%.
It is 50%, but it's like, okay, so it's like this, to say this is a movie that I love and is going to make my top 10? No, because it's like, I would have to be rating like a 7, 8 for it to be like, okay, I'm rewatching it. But I'm not gonna lie, it's a movie that if I'm just kind of scrolling through, I'm like, I just want to get, just because I love that part with the mom said it, it makes me laugh like all the time, and I cry tears every time.
Yeah,
and it's literally just like that. But to be quite honest, also for me, I'm like, these like kind of, would you consider this like a rom-com movie? I don't know what you would consider this.
I guess so. Yeah.
To be quite honest, like the rom-com movies for me are not gonna really rank that high for me unless they're like super stellar, because I'm more of an action storyline type of thing. Like I love mystery, trying to figure out what this is, what happened here, that kind of thing. So I think it's just also because it's more in that rom-com genre where it's gonna get low, because it's not like that, because you can only laugh at the same joke so many times.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? It's not like, then again, it's not like The Proposal, which if y'all watch our other video of our top five rom-coms for each of us, Proposal I can watch over and over again just because I loved Ryan Reynolds and Sandra Bullock. Yeah. But yeah, it's not on that level. But yeah, we can give it a 5. Like, we're okay with the 5.
Okay.
What are we getting? Treasure, what are we getting? I feel like a 3's coming, guys.
I think definitely like it's 2.5. Oh. 3. You know, Rotten Tomatoes actually rated it 39%.
Who?
Rotten Tomatoes. Yes, it's 39%, and I 100% could agree. I definitely think that a movie like this was needed to highlight, like I said again, just gonna say this term, like reverse racism. I definitely think it was needed or whatever, because I mean, there's racism still to this day, and like racism in every kind of way, every which way, whatever way you think about it, it's happening. I do think that it could have been funnier.
Okay.
I think that Eddie Murphy was honestly such a sore spot for me, and not his acting, just his character, that they could have at least made him like, they could have made him rude, but at least made him funny. He wasn't funny at all. Yeah, he wasn't. And then I feel like Nia Long could have had like a better part in it too, because I kind of don't know what she was doing. Like he would be like super super rude, and she's just letting him. She's just sitting there. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, whose side are you really on? Like you're not too happy either, but like that's all as far as I can get. Like I don't know anything else about you. I don't think I'm not watching this movie ever again. But I do think that more movies could happen with like culture shocks of like relationships, and like trying figuring out like good ways to try and navigate it and opening those conversations up.
Moral of the story is true love conquers all, which is what we saw in this movie. So.
I guess. I don't know if that's true love.
I guess. But okay, so here's my one question.
I think culture
go ahead.
Appreciation is what needs to happen genuinely throughout the world.
For sure. So here's my thing I was gonna ask you. What is a way that this movie could have actually have been better? Is that by changing a certain actor for another one that you thought that would have fit better? Okay, so do you really think that a movie that is talking about culture and culture shocks and all that stuff, culture norms, not culture norms, do you really think a movie like that could ever really rank that high? Because obviously, like you mentioned, Rotten Tomatoes ranked it at 39%. That is one of the harder movie rating systems where I've seen movies where I've loved and that have been raved about.
Oh, I apparently what I've learned about IMDb or whatever it's called and Rotten Tomatoes is that I like the worst movies ever.
No,
and that's genuinely what I've learned. Yeah. But I definitely see why this one was rated that way. For this one, like I said, I don't like the father's character at all. I
so
think
that one
needed to fix the character because were they just trying to make him completely unlikable? And I don't think he was redeeming at all when he was putting them back together. I don't think it redeemed anything, to be honest, for how horrible he was the entire time. I think Amir was a little bit unlikable because she just snapped at him so bad, but then it was like, it makes sense for who her father is.
Yeah.
But I think that's like a character flaw, like, and like a big one. Like, I think that like Ezra like literally should not marry her. Like, I don't get him loving her, to be honest. Because I think that's so bad.
I feel you.
Just way funnier. Like,
way funnier. But do you think it could be way funnier without it being super like coming off super like? Because again, like with some of these movies, being funny
doesn't mean that it's coming off as a joke, though.
Oh, true. That's true. Okay, so that's what
right. Like,
okay, it makes sense.
Being funny doesn't mean that the issue that they're talking at hand is not serious. Being funny to me is just making it be like actual, like more of like a likeness, because at the end of the day, right, you chose to watch this movie or whatever, and like you read the description and you're like, okay, relationships, right, like I don't know,
mixed,
there's a bunch of mixed relationships, so it's something that's like you see every day or whatever, so it's like, okay, this is just a romantic movie to you, you know what I mean? This is just like a rom-com to you. It wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna think this is like, I'm watching like a statement piece right now, or like, you know, no, like, so that's what I'm saying. I don't think that people going into it is saying like, oh, this is a statement piece and I need to watch it. I think it was like, oh, this is supposed to be a rom-com, but it wasn't that funny.
Yeah. Oh,
and that's what I'm saying. Like, it's such a bad rom-com.
Yeah.
So in its category, it's such a bad...
If it is in that kind of... I don't even know if it is. But
well, I mean, apparently it is.
Apparently it is?
Apparently it's a rom-com. So that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why it's 39%, because it was such a bad rom-com, because there was not that much... Like, the mom was the only funny relief. Right. And I think maybe his podcast partner, like, they were a little bit funny.
Yeah. Yeah, the Drake lines in it were funny too.
Yeah, so...
I get you. Okay. And, like, again, like I was going to say, I just find it, like, I would love to see a movie like this done again, and this, like, again, talking about this cultural stuff. I just don't know how you do it without people coming and being like, oh, you're offended because of the jokes that you chose to make for African Americans. Like, obviously, like, the jokes like, oh, we like grape juice and watermelon, that nonsense, fried chicken, whatever nonsense.
I hate watermelon.
I don't like it either, but you know how people use that when they try to be funny when they're talking about our culture?
Yeah.
I don't know how you do that without having people be offended but have it be effective. You know, that's why I was asking about the whole could a movie like this.
But I mean, like, I don't think that I don't think for this movie to be funny, I'm saying they need to go stereotypical. I'm just saying, like, you could just be funny for being fun, for the sake of being funny. Like, even like Eddie Murphy. Like, Eddie Murphy plays Donkey in Shrek, and Shrek is hilarious.
Yeah, no.
Because Donkey's, and you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so, like, I think whatever he did to the character to strip down his humorous side was such a bad job. Like, I don't know why they picked him then if they didn't need him to have that kind of, like, smooth comedic relief in it. He didn't have that at all. Like, and I don't think that he's a bad actor, so to be like, oh, should they have changed the actor? No, but I don't know what they did with him, like why they did it that way.
I wonder if they were trying to give him a role where he was more serious and not funny, but then it's like, why pick Eddie Murphy? I don't know.
I don't.
Yeah, I'm not
Eddie Murphy was like literally like
funny.
It was like a comedic king kind of back in his day.
Yeah, no, like when I think him, I think Martin Lawrence. Like him and Martin Lawrence were like...
Yeah, like everything he did, he had like a little bit of funny ones. Like even in like Dr. Dolittle, you know, like Dr. Dolittle, like it was funny, right? But like, yeah, the animals are funny too. But like even him, like he would say some things, and it was just like if you listen, it was one of those things where it was like if you listen to what he was saying, it was funny. Yeah, it was not like they told you when it was gonna be funny. You know what I mean?
I get what you mean.
And so I don't know, but.
Yeah,
so definitely Rotten Tomatoes was right for this one. And I can't wait to give you your next
Okay, so why don't you tell me what it is?
It's
gonna pop up right there.
Yeah, we'll come back.
We're gonna see.
Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. Let us know what you think of this movie down below. Let us know if you think that they need a redo, and let us know what you think about Kiana's hat. No, I'm kidding.
What's wrong with that? That's funny. Anyways, guys, key out. Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching. And please, again, subscribe, share, like, all the things. And we'll see you back with another video.
Bye.